Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. We have an extra segment for you this morning. Joining me to talk about the upcoming film screening here in Farmington, to talk about her film, The Ways of Knowing. The executive producer of that film, Sunny Dooley, is joining me today. And good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Scott. I'm very happy to be here with you this morning to chat with you and talk about what's coming up pretty soon.
Right. Appreciate that very, very much. There is a screening of the film that you were executive producer of at the Tota Theater coming up on Monday. And the film is about the nuclear uranium history on the Navajo Nation. And it's an ongoing story, but it really does talk about the impacts of uranium mining and things like that. I wanted to play the trailer for our audiences, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So stand by just a minute.
Everywhere in the world, they hold sacred the synagogues, mosques, temples, shrines, and churches. None of those places are contaminated. Our sacred places are contaminated.
What we do to the earth, what we do to the mountains, what we do to the water, what we do to the air, the soil, the trees, the plants, the medicines, we do it to ourselves in return.
The government knew that mining was bad. They knew it was bad for your health. They knew it could kill you.
Tests revealed the water had high levels of uranium.
The land pays a price. The people pay a price. Everybody pays a price for this energy.
We are a part of nature, and we cannot exclude ourselves.
We're not crazy. We're not going out of our minds. We're brave.
The film, Ways of Knowing, will be screened next week, Monday, October 20th, 7 p.m. at the Tota Theater here in Farmington. Executive producer Sunny Dooley is my guest. She is joining us. And so, again, talk to me about this film that you've been working on. How long did it take you to get this film produced?
Well, it started a very long time ago. I met lovely Humanum in 2016 at a gathering in Santa Fe, and we started a conversation about nuclear disarmament and just the topic of nuclear in general. And the conversations grew into this film. And in, let's see, like 2017, 18, 19, the Navajo Nation was sponsoring a lot of public hearings all across the areas where uranium was mined, a lot of it along the San Juan River in New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona. And the conversations, you know, really talked about the 80-year impact of this extraction industry. And I just listened. I listened, and in the back of my mind, you know, I was thinking about, we've opened Pandora's box. There's no way Pandora is going back into that box. Nuclear is here. Uranium is here. It's one of the elements of the earth. How do we begin to live with it? How do we survive with it? And so it's in that context that I started this film, along with Adriel Lewis and Lovely Umanum. We have a wonderful, beautiful editor, Friesli Sobrias, and we put this together with a number of the community that has been affected by uranium into this film. And it's all about healing. How do we, as the five-fingered inhabitants of this planet, begin to heal? Because once we've let Pandora out, we know that everything that has happened and that has transpired is here forever. The radioactive life of any kind of nuclear uranium contamination is tremendous. And so how do we begin to live with it? And so the film explores that, and it started out as a virtual reality 360 fully immersive film. We took it to South by Southwest in March, and it was viewed there by a huge audience. And then it got recognized into the International Uranium Film Festival.
Right.
And it's been touring the world. And then also a VR festival that took place in Pordano, Italy. So it's really kind of exciting. And I would say this is just an evolution of the storytelling that I've been doing for the past 40 years.
That's true. That's how we first met. You reminded me of that when you were a guest at the Storytelling Festival here in Farmington a few years ago. We won't admit how many, but a few years ago. And congratulations on the accolades and the acceptance of the film and these other festivals and these other audiences who are getting to hear your story and the story in the film. And I think a lot of folks may be surprised to learn that there are still effects from the uranium mining that happened here in the Four Corners region decades ago. But those, as you say, the effects of radioactivity remain for decades, for years, right? And so there's still impacts to families, still impacts to workers, and those issues are still being gone through, I guess. And that's part of the stories that we hear in the film. Yes.
Yes. As you know, it's all part of the atomic history of New Mexico. The bomb was exploded in Trinity, New Mexico, 80 years ago, and the families are living with it. Every family that was part of the Downwinders experience in southern Utah, all the way down into Tularosa, cancer is here, and some of the effects of it on Navajo Nation is that it has altered the DNA of some of the younger folks who are now having children. So the effects are tremendous. And, I think many of the extractive industries around us do have consequences. And so we're trying to do our best to live amongst it. And really, that's the only way that we're going to move forward. I think we need to become more cognizant about what it is we're doing to this beautiful planet that we call Earth. And so this is what the film is about. I hope that people will begin to acknowledge and take responsibility for what it is we must do as the five-fingered people on the surface of the Earth to move forward in a more positive direction on how we're going to survive. So it's a beautiful film. It's very hopeful. It's a film that is, person-based. It's not, I'm not trying to condemn anybody or anything or anyone, but we need to become responsible and take to our hearts what is necessary for us to move on.
Sure. And you're telling the stories of these individuals, I think, in families who are impacted, right, by mining and the history of uranium mining on the Navajo Nation. And I think, too, is there some concerns about maybe with conversations about maybe trying to restart some sites or the search for uranium and things like that these things may come back into the landscape? I mean, that's got to be a concern as well.
Well, yeah, there are emerging issues regarding nuclear and uranium. Last week, Holtec, a company who wanted to store nuclear waste in southern New Mexico, withdrew its plans to do that. So that's a that's a real positive step forward. And, you know, Bill Gates is promoting nuclear as a clean energy. And as New Mexicans, we know that nuclear is not clean. You just have to look at the Waste Isolation Pilot Project in southern New Mexico, where a lot of nuclear waste, spent fuel rods are stored. You don't have to look too far, you know, west of Farmington. Right there, there's the White Mesa, and you know, there's all kinds of waste being stored there, and we really don't know what is there. It's just south of Blanding. And we live in such a beautiful region here in the southwestern part of this country. And so we need to really begin to take an assessment of how we want to see the future for our children and their great-grandchildren. My great-grandmother always used to say when I walked into her hogan that I was the full expression of her prayers. And that's how I, you know, think about my future is I see my grandnieces and I want their children to be living in a beautiful environment.
There you go. Right.
Yeah. This film does feature Tina Garninez. She is a citizen of Cove, New Mexico. Not too far, I guess, southwest of Shiprock.
Right.
And so she's in there. There's a number of other individuals that are featured as well that are being practicing resilience in the face of distress, because I think as Native Americans here on the northern and the southern parts of this hemisphere, you know, we've survived a lot, and so we're planning on surviving into the future as well.
Very true. Very true. Well, thank you for amplifying their voices with your film and sharing it with the rest of us, Sunny Dooley. We really appreciate it. I appreciate your time talking with me about it today. Again, it is the screening of the film Ways of Knowing. Nuclear history is Navajo history. You can see it Monday, October 20th at 7 p.m. at the Tota Theater in Farmington. Admission is free. Thanks to Sunny Dooley, the executive producer, the Northwest New Mexico Arts Council, and all the others involved in this film for bringing it to us. And Sunny Dooley, great to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Take care. That's Sunny Dooley, the executive producer of Ways of Knowing, my guest on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.